Parents can now edit their baby's DNA before birth. We can remove deadly diseases or design so-called perfect humans. Is this the greatest medical breakthrough in history, or are we quietly rewriting what it means to be human? To understand the problem, we need to know one thing: how DNA editing works. Inside every cell in your body is DNA, a long code that tells your body how to grow, look, and function. In the last decade, scientists developed a tool called CRISPR. Think of CRISPR as tiny, programmable scissors for DNA. It can cut out a faulty gene and replace it with a healthier version. This isn't science fiction. It's already being tested in real people today. Now imagine using that same tool not just to cure disease in adults, but to edit the DNA of babies before they're even born. In 2018, a Chinese scientist named He Jiankui announced something the world had never seen before. He claimed to have created the first genetically edited babies, twin girls, often referred to as Lulu and Nana. Their DNA was edited to make them resistant to HIV. On the surface, that sounds like a good thing. Protect them from a dangerous virus. Give them a healthier life. But the reaction was immediate and brutal. The Chinese government condemned the experiment. He Jiankui was investigated, tried, and eventually jailed. Scientists all over the world called his work irresponsible and unethical. But because nobody really knew the full risks. Because the babies could not consent. Because these changes affect not just them, but potentially their future children too. So here's the question: were these girls protected, or were they experimented on? That one experiment forced the world to ask a much bigger question. If we can edit human DNA, what should we actually be allowed to do with that power? Let's start with the best-case scenario. The defense, you could say. Right now, millions of people suffer from inherited diseases: Huntington's disease, cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia. These are brutal conditions that can destroy lives and families. DNA editing could prevent some of these diseases before a child is even born. Imagine knowing your future son or daughter will never get the disease that killed your parents. Imagine an entire generation free from some of the most painful conditions we know. Less suffering, fewer hospital visits, longer, healthier lives. From this view, gene editing looks like a moral obligation. If we can stop these diseases, how could we justify not doing it? Now the other side, the prosecution. Once we open the door to editing DNA for disease, what stops us from editing for other things? Height, eye color, muscle strength, even traits linked to intelligence and personality. At that point, we're not just healing, we're designing. And designing comes with consequences. First, inequality. These technologies will be expensive at first. That means only the wealthiest families can afford better genes. We already have economic inequality. Now imagine genetic inequality. Rich children literally born with advantages that poor children could never access. Second, history. In the early 20th century, eugenics movements claimed they could improve humanity by controlling who was allowed to have children. It led to forced sterilizations. It fed into racist and ableist ideologies. Today, the language has changed, but the temptation is the same: to decide which traits are desirable and quietly erase the rest. So we need to ask, are we curing disease or creating a new form of eugenics with better branding? Let's make this personal. I want you to imagine 3 specific scenarios. Scenario A: a couple knows their baby will inherit a deadly genetic disease that usually kills people before the age of 20. Doctors offer DNA editing to remove that disease. Would you allow it? If you say yes to scenario A, type A in the comments and say why. Scenario B: a different couple has a healthy baby on the way. No disease, no medical issues. But they want the child to be taller and more attractive, to have an easier life. Doctors can subtly adjust a few genes to increase height and change some physical features. Would you allow that? If you support scenario B, type B in the comments and tell me your reasoning. Scenario C: scientists offer a gene edit to slightly boost intelligence and focus. Not a super genius baby, but a child more likely to succeed in school and work. No direct disease is being treated. This is an upgrade. Would you allow it? If you would say yes to scenario C, type C and explain why. All three scenarios use the same basic tool, editing DNA. But do they feel the same to you? Where would you personally draw the line? Here's my own verdict for now. I believe using DNA editing to prevent serious, life-threatening diseases can be ethically justified if it's done transparently, safely, and with strong global rules. But once we step into enhancements, height, beauty, intelligence, we are no longer just treating illness. We are deciding what kind of humans deserve to exist. That is a power humans have abused before. And technology doesn't automatically make us wiser. Technology moves fast. Ethics moves slowly. And once we normalize designer babies, it may be impossible to go back. So I want to hear from you. Comment edit if you support DNA editing for disease prevention, or NO edit if you think this is a line we should never cross. Tell me why. I read every thoughtful comment and they will shape future videos on this channel. In the next episode, we're leaving DNA and looking at something you face every day, AI that can edit your face, your voice, and your identity with deepfakes. Subscribe if you want to explore how technology is changing what it means to be human and what's morally at stake.